have the worst tan line of life. You can't really tell right now, but it's bad. I got it from marching. I'm tan on my forearms, and even my hand is tan to here, and then this part of my fingers is really white because you walk when you walk in ranks, you're at attention. They called it a roll of quarters, and you just keep your fists like this. So I'm tan, and then I'm white because this part is tucked against me and never sees the sun. Anyway, I don't think that I'm going to do a continuation right now of boot camp. I'm just going to touch briefly up with you guys about what I've been doing. And I'll continue the boot camp later. I can tell you about boot camp forever, never. And I will. I'll continue to do that. But right now I'm not going to talk about all of that. Because I had some random questions. First I wanted to say, though, that people are confused. I'm at A school. I'm not in boot camp anymore. I'm in A school, which is even people that are undesignated, which means people that haven't, they didn't choose their rate, are here because they have to go through like a week of I don't know what, and then they go out to the fleet and they're just doing random jobs, and then they can strike into a job that they want, and they can either at that point come back to A school and learn about that job or just learn it on the job while they're there. It depends on whatever. This is all confusing to a lot of you, so I don't really want to talk about that much because you're just probably sitting there like, what the hell is she talking about? But I am an AT. There's ATIs and there's ATOs. I'm an ATO. And the rate that I chose when I joined the military was AV. AV. This is A in sign language for those who don't know. AV. That's what I chose. And that, they've taken the rates AE and AT and combined it into what is called AV. So you don't know what you're going to be until... I found out about middle of boot camp, maybe week 5 of boot camp, that I was going to be the AT. And a lot of the AVs I knew in the beginning, they became AEs. I became an AT. Then there's ATI or ATO. It splits off and branches off into these things. And I'm an ATO. So, if you have questions about the difference between those, basically AE, they joke that AE means everything, aviation everything, because AEs will do everything. And ATOs basically are the ones that are working directly with the aircraft, whether it be an F-18 Hornet or Greyhound or helicopter or whatever. The AT is the one that the pilot comes up to you and is like, the display doesn't work in my headgear or whatever, so then you're the one that takes it apart. Then you take it downstairs to the ATI, and the ATI will fix it, and then you get it back from the ATI, and then you go assemble it. So I'm running up and down. I'm actually on the flight deck. I'm not just sitting where the ATIs sit, because ATIs get like air conditioning, and they get like a cush setup, the ATIs do. And the ATOs are the ones that are like the grunt man running back and forth, which is what I like anyway, because from the jobs that I've had, I've always liked the physical ones where I'm actually doing something to keep busy, not sitting there like at admin. I hate admin stuff. But ATI is also the hardest school here at Pensacola. ATI is definitely one of the hardest ones. And then AC, Air Traffic Controller, it used to be ATC. They changed it to AC, but I still get confused because AC to me means air crew. Anyway, Air Traffic Controller is also a pretty hard one too, but I was this close to picking AC until I realized that the reason I left the post office was because of the stress and the demanding hours, and that's what you're going to have if you're an air traffic controller, is a lot of stress. And Blue Angels practice above us. The people training for the Blue Angels, the planes that fly like this, and then go like this, and go like this, and then go like this. So it gets kind of loud sometimes, because they're practicing right above us, which is cool, because I get to just sit here and watch them practice. Anyhow, I'm an ATO. When you get here to A school, I don't know about all A schools, this is aviation here in Pensacola, Florida. If you're CT or if you're a submarine or an MA, your schools are everywhere. There's schools in Texas, there's schools at Great Lakes, there's schools in California, there's schools everywhere. But the aviation-related rates come here to Pensacola, and that's a lot of us. At least there was for our divisions. There were a lot of people in Pensacola that came here. So I'm waiting to class up, which means either they don't have classroom space available for me, or they're waiting for enough ATOs to get here so they can make a whole class, or they, for whatever reason, it could be 2 months before I even start to go to school. So, sorry. When you first get to A school in Pensacola, there's phases. There's phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4, but that's for like people in Foxtrot, and they get to do whatever they want. Anyway, phase 1 lasts for 2 weeks, and that's what I am right now. You cannot wear civvies, civilian clothes, we call them civvies. You have to wear your uniform everywhere you go, and you have to muster every night at 21:45, but 15 minutes earlier than that is 21:30. So even as tired as I am and I wanted to go to bed at 20:00, I would have to get up, get dressed in my uniform, go walk out there to muster, and then come back. That's 2 weeks long, and my 2 weeks will be up this weekend, so I'll graduate to phase 2, which means I no longer have to muster. I can wear civilian clothes. Like when you go to the mall and stuff, you can actually wear jeans, whereas at phase 1, after the first week you're here, you take a Saturday class which tells you about liberty, and liberty basically means your weekend, your time off. So, but even then, because you're still phase 1, you had to go to the mall in your uniform. But as a phase 2, I will be able to wear my civvies this weekend. So on Facebook, I talk a lot about. Hey, I know those guys. That guy's from the Bronx, New York. He's running outside my window. That was terrible, terrible accent. But the first time I heard him talk was in boot camp, and he stood up and asked a petty officer if she had any paper, and he goes, "Respectfully request permission to ask a question. You got any paper? Paper?" I will never forget the way he said paper. It was hilarious. Then we were all like, "Where's he from?" From the Bronx. Anyway, it's so interesting meeting people. Like, there's this one guy, too, from Brother Div. Was he from Brother Div? I don't know, but in the beginning during P-Days, we took a lot of classes with divisions, and not even just our own division and Brother Division, but a whole group of us. Like, all the new people were in these classes, and I think he was in Brother Div, though. But he's from, where is he from? Alabama or somewhere. I don't know, somewhere really country, like really down south. And we were learning about the GI Bill and the 9/11, post 9/11 bill, the grants that you get when you're in the military to go to college. And they were asking about which colleges were accredited schools to go to which bill, because some of them, like the post 9/11, you can't go to trade schools and stuff. But when he stood up, he had the thickest accent, and he talked real slow, and he had a southern drawl, and he was legitimately he was inquiring in a serious way about NASCAR college, and the way he said it was, how did he say it? The post 9/11 bill, will that cover NASCAR college or something he said. And the way he said it was hilarious, because you think of people down south, and the stereotype for like a white guy down south is like racing cars, like NASCAR, beer, just shit like that. It was just funny. So he totally fit the stereotype, and then when he asked about which college he wanted to go to, everybody was rolling. It was hilarious. It's really neat meeting different people from everywhere around here. It is. That's one of my favorite things, I think, about being in the Navy, aside from travel, which I haven't really. Well, I've been to Great Lakes, but I didn't really get to go much around there because I was stuck in boot camp, and now I'm in Pensacola, and being phase 1, I'm pretty much confined here. But phase 2, I'll be able to go explore and do things around here. So being able to travel, I think, is what I love, even though I haven't much got to do that yet, and meeting all the different people from everywhere. Just like people you see on TV and movies that you never thought you'd meet someone like that. They're here right in front of you, so that's pretty neat. Oh, that's what else. This is 10 minutes long. I'm going to cut this off, upload it, and come back to you. So sorry.